Trump called her out for being for defund the police, and she vehemently denied it.
Defund the police. She's been against that forever. She gave all that stuff up.
Look at her.
She gave all that stuff up.
She's saying, no, that's not true. That's not true. I'm not for defund the police. Here's a post they'd probably like you to forget about. This was from, look at this, June 1st, 2020. Anybody remember what was going on June 1st of 2020? If you're able to, chip in now to the Minnesota Freedom Fund to help post bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota. I showed this in a video as well, where Timmy Awol, okay, her running mate, allowed Minneapolis to be burned to the ground, essentially. A precinct to be taken over by rioters that were peacefully protesting. And she wanted you to pitch in your money. This is the kind of stuff she's going to do day one. She's also going to use taxpayer money to fund gender care and transitions for detained migrants. Your money. You can see here under Timmy Awol, babies born alive in botched abortions were left to, it's disgusting even reading this, but this is the reality that we live in today. Then he removed reporting requirements. Also remember that Timmy Awol repealed the Born Alive Act, which would have saved the life of a child that was born, taken out of the mother, would have saved that child's life. They would have been considered a human being. He repealed that, so that child is no longer considered a human being. In fact, here's Ralph Northam, the 73rd governor of Virginia. Listen to this absolute disgusting thing. Remember, Kamala and the left and the moderators on ABC are trying to make it sound like taking life in the womb is just every now and again, and it's only for specific reasons, and it has to be only when it's like within the first few days. Like, are you kidding me? It happens literally from conception until the baby is born.
There are, when we talk about third trimester abortions, these are done with the consent of obviously the mother, with the consent of the physicians, more than one physician, by the way.
The left.
I guess it's okay if it's approved by 2 or 3 doctors. Full-term abortion. It's okay. These are Kamala's lies, ladies and gentlemen, being exposed. You're seeing it for yourself. You're hearing it from her own mouth.
Doesn't want any restrictions whatsoever. And that's why you see Kamala's running mate, Timmy Awol, signing bills that make literally just any taking life in the womb legal for whatever reason at any time. Minnesota is radical when it comes to this. And she swore that she would do this to the entire United States. You wouldn't have a choice but to live in a society that can just sacrifice whenever and however they want.
The presidential debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris revealing abortion policies in parts of the U.S. Trump did call out some states' policies that allow abortion up to a day a baby is born, asking Kamala Harris if she would support abortion up to delivery.
They have abortion in the 9th month. The governor before, he said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
However, the New York Times reports there are states that have no restrictions on abortion, including.
Amen. So this young lady, this ABC News correspondent, moderator at the debate, thought she was being so smart, defending Harris, trying to humiliate Trump, saying there are no states that allow abortion at full term. Well, they just proved her wrong, showing these states that allow abortion for any reason, no limits, full term. These people are liars.
The ones you see here: Alaska, Colorado, New Jersey, New Mexico, Oregon, Vermont, Washington, D.C., and Minnesota, where Harris's running mate Tim Walz is governor. In fact, while Walz was governor, Minnesota recorded 5 babies who were born alive in 2021 during failed abortions, and none were given life-saving care.
You hear that? In Minnesota, Vice President Harris's running mate, they had 5 reported born alive births, failed abortions. And what did they do with the babies? Allowed the babies to sit there and die. Administered no care. Yeah, so Trump was wrong, I guess. He don't know what he's talking about. But you believe these evil, lying people, and you refuse to see the truth.
She was all for defund the police.
Look, part of this movement, and it's not just a moment, it's a movement, standing on the shoulders of the movements before. Part of this has to be about changing the system, rehauling the system, upending the system.
So then if you're for overhauling, where do you stand on defund the police?
Look, right. So here's the thing. Defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety. For too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong.
She also said this during the debate.
Wow. You hear what she said? Putting more cops on the street is something that's imagined. You don't get safety by putting more cops on the street. So she's giving us her fairy tale. You don't get safety by putting more cops on the street. That's wrong. Really? Wow. You got to get into the mind of these people to understand what they're all about. And like I said, you can see the lying and the trickery and everything else concerning Kamala Harris.
Safety. For too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong.
She also said this during the debate.
Wow.
This business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
I support buybacks, and it's something I'm so passionate about and so looking forward to being president to address. We've got to deal with this.
How mandatory is your gun buyback program?
It's mandatory.
Stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
Kamala saying, stop lying, and then from her own face, admitting that she's going to have mandatory buybacks. Just in case you didn't get it, here she is talking about it again.
What would you do about the millions of specifically assault weapons that are already in circulation? What do you do about those?
Well, there are approximately 5 million, to your point, Craig. We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program. It's got to be smart. We got to do it the right way.
And just in case you still didn't get it, here she is again.
Do you believe in the mandatory buyback of quote-unquote assault weapons? And whether or not you do, how does that idea not go against fundamentally the Second Amendment?
Yeah, great question. I do believe that we need to do buyback. So one, I'll tell you, when elected president, if the United States Congress continues to fail to have the courage to do something about this, I'm prepared to take executive action.
Kamala admits that she will take executive action to do a buyback program to confiscate your firearms, to infringe on your Second Amendment rights. Also, Trump...
My Lord. That was in September the 10th, 2024, when she said that. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have seen it for yourself. You've heard the lies. You've heard you've seen the flip-flops. Do I need to say anything else? These people are liars, natural-born liars, as I've said before. They wouldn't tell the truth if their life depended on it. So you've seen it for yourself. This is Brother Williams. Be blessed.